What's up, YouTube? I just wanted to do a video for Blitz Genesis for what was Konami's words in the points updates, like a generic Thunder useful cards. Um, because obviously Thunderclap Monk got hit in the race recently points list because everybody was playing it at all um the Genesis Championship events because this card was a searchable generic monster negate, which you can just add to your hand. You can just play 3 copies of it. You can just always you can always special summon it. Like this would always be online. Obviously, this went from 0 points all the way up to 9 points, and some people were even playing Ryo. They had enough points left over to play Ryo in their deck still, which is kind of crazy that you were kind of just allowed to do that. Obviously, I don't think that was the best points value, but you could do it back but obviously, Blitz has had a large point adjustment since then, and I don't think spending 9 points on Thunderclap Monk is kind of worth it anymore. So I just wanted to make a video going over which Thunder monsters are worth it in that kind of generic Thunder card slot, as like an extra good card you can always have access to, and I think I think it is worth running at least one. So the Kaiju, I think in Genesis, I think this you should always just have this. This is just a searchable kaiju, and this will always find some value. You need to get rid of Verrugus. You can just summon over it. Like any like a fairy tale summons an Omni, you can just get rid of it, right? Um, like there's a bunch of cards that will just I think you should always have this in your main or in your side. You should just always have 1 copy of this, no matter what. I don't think this ever changes unless this gets points. And even if this gets like 2 points or to match Gamma Seal or whatever Gamma Seal's at, I think it's worth keeping keeping it in for those couple of points if this ever gets pointed. Um, now I just want to basically always run this card. This card is just like too good to not have. Genesis has been kaiju since day one. Keep it. It's free. Now some weirder choices, but you can technically play Zaborg, and you don't really need your normal summon in the deck at all going second. So you could search Zaborg, tribute summon it, and then just destroy a card on the field, which just obviously synergize with your Blitz cards if you've got other Blitz cards on the field, right? You could tribute summon this and thing. Obviously, you would have to get rid of your other cards in the field. I don't think it's that good. This was just I just saw this as like a viable. This is technically a playable generic Thunder card that you could just go out and search. I don't think it's worth it per se, but it is possible that you could play this card. Now, recently unappointed Thundercrash Snarecrow. Why the fuck was this 10 points? This card is not even worth putting in your deck at 0 points. No, the reason why it was 10 points is like as a we tip point blitz kind of move. So people would play the deck. But yeah, it basically each time an Thunder is summoned face up while this card is in the monster zone, that card cannot attack this turn. It's kind of whatever, bro. Also, destroy it in the end phase. If this card is in your graveyard, and you take one piece of card you control, destroy it, and if you do, add this card to your hand. Why would you ever want to destroy one of your good blitz cards to add this back to your hand? I don't know. I mean, there is a way where you could like crack or summon this out, and then in the end phase, all your opponent's cards disappear. But that is like not good. I don't think this is good. This is kind of just like not worth it, and it's like bad. Now there is Astrasma Urania. This card is pretty okay. You can special summon this card by returning 1 or 2 monsters to your hand, and that's an inherent summon, so that's not by effect, that's for condition. You can only special summon this card once this way, and you can use these following effects once per turn. If this card is special summon, you can reveal any number of monsters with different levels, then target that many face-up card your opponent controls and negate their effects. So this can if you special summon this out anyway, it doesn't have to be by its own effect. So you can special summon this out with via any of your blitz effects. You can then reveal different level monsters in your hand, and then just negate up to that many face-up cards on the field. So this isn't terrible. This isn't a terrible card, and it also allows you to re-add some of your cards back to your hand. But I think kind of just bad. Like, it's not the worst card. I think if you just wanted a good one card, I think this is probably the best. Like if you just wanted to run Kaiju and Ashlamsa, I would say these are probably pretty good. Um, but Strasmo is just kind of it just needs, and also you can add it back to your hand if it gets destroyed. But like this card just needs a little something extra or something. It just needs a bit more synergy with the deck. Like if it would negate and destroy those cards, maybe it'd be a bit better. But then destroying cards sometimes you don't want to do. I don't know. This card is okay. I don't hate the idea of running this card. I just don't think it's the best out of the options that we have. Zap Mustang cannot be normal summoned set. It must be special summoned by a card effect during the main phase 1, and cannot be special summoned if you have special summon this turn. First 2 times, this card will be destroyed by battle each turn. It isn't. It is not destroyed each turn. The turn player can only special summon a number of times up to the number of attacks conducted to reach this turn. So basically, you can summon like your opponent. One, um, I think playing Floodgates is boring and cringe. That's why I would only play this card. But 2, this is just kind of super outable. Because it's already protected from being destroyed by battle. Like, they can just destroy this with any card. This is like the most outable thing in the world. It's like not worth at all. Like, come on. I'm playing Floodgates is cringe. And Lightning Reload, again, also, this card is 1 point, so but anything actually use spell phase during main phase 1. Obviously, your opponent can just go to main phase 2 and start playing, but that means they've skipped the battle phase, right? So that means you have traded the battle phase for them to be able to be, they traded their battle phase for the ability, but you means that you just can't be randomly dark hold or whatever. But I think the deck already has a good spell negate built in, which is really easy to come through, and you play through a lot of like spells pretty well anyway. Like you play through destruction spells like crazy because of Return Strike, and then you have a spell negate on Return Strike as well. So like, yeah, I don't think this card is super good as it is 1 point. So if you have room, there might be a place to put it on the side. But again, I also think playing Floodgates is hella cringe, and you can play 0 point Floodgates for free, like non-fusion area or Summon Break or something. I don't know what it's called, or some other shit. But yeah. So out of these cards, I would say, obviously I wouldn't play Ryo and Thunderclap Monk are just not plays, but always play the Kaiju, always play the Kaiju. Then if you want another card, you can play Astra. But if you've been looking at the screen, you can see there's been 3 cards down here in the side, and these are the 3 cards that I'm actually playing. I've used to get to top 5 on the Omega ladder is using these 3 Sprite cards. Now, most of the time I am only playing 2 in the main and the third one in the side, but these cards just are so much better value playing 2 of these. So Sprite Blue is if you control a ranked level 2 or rank 2 monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you special summon it, you can add another Sprite monster to your hand, which is pretty simple because green is level 2. So if you can get green out on the field, you can use Alternator to search blue. You can then summon blue. Then blue will search you either carrot or red, depending which one's in your deck. I prefer keeping carrot in the main, just as an extra spell negate. You can play through monsters pretty easily and just keep destroying them over and over again. It doesn't really matter. But sometimes like a spell you really need to destroy, like stop a spell from going off. Yeah, like something like Sacred Beast Released is just like a card that you just never want resolving on you, like ever. If that card resolves, you basically lose. So Carrot is basically the one I main, and then Red I leave on the side. But Red Carrot would contribute a 2 to negate a spell effect. It won't destroy the card because you won't be using a rank 2 or level 2 link 2. But you can just negate a spell effect. And it's not even negate the activation, it's negate the effect. So that's really, really nice. And red does the same, but for monster effects. So if you're scared of Nibiru on your push, you can play the red. but I would most of the time play carrot. Carrot, especially because you don't have a trap negate, and if you know people are playing something like evenly, even though I think Blitz plays fairly decently into evenly overall, but you can just stop it, or any other trap card. Well, it's like maybe it's a trap that activates Engrave, right? Something like again in the mirror in the Blitz mirror, if they go to use Alternator Engrave, maybe they crackled and managed to get a crackle send. You can stop the Alternator search, right? This is really really good. Um, and then or something like Paleo, which is a very real deck that's played. You can just like negate a Paleo effect, which is really really nice, and red, which into monsters. But sometimes there's this like something like Dragon Rollers where they just basically don't play any spells and traps, right? So red just has like infinite more value into like Dragon Rollers or something. So yeah, I just wanted to go over this little somewhat of a tier list. I wouldn't say it's a true tier list, but my thoughts on all these like the generic thunder spammers that you could add to your deck. Basically, always play the kaiju. I play these 3 sprite cards, with red in the side. But if you didn't want to dedicate 3 other cards, you could play Astra. And I think the rest of these cards are kind of throwing a little bit. Maybe Lightning World Lord isn't totally throwing. But playing Floodgates is cringe, and they should every color stuff Floodgate should be like 50 points at minimum. But yeah. Um, yeah, I just wanted to do this little sprite list, little idea, and I hope you guys have a little bit. I wasn't the first person to come up with this. A couple of lists have been using the sprites to advantage, and I just wanted to put some more eyes on it because I think it's really cool that you're able to do this tiny little sprite package to just like make up for your missing for like as like a small little containment to boost you up a little bit more. And they're all just thunders, so you can add them back to your hand from step leader 2. So they are recyclable at the end of the day. But yeah, these cards are really really good. Thanks for watching, and bye.